This is Conversations with a Gender Therapist Q&A, where a gender therapist answers questions from those who are transgender, non-binary, gender questioning, as well as those who love them. I'm your host, Dara Hoffman-Fox, licensed professional counselor. Let's get on to today's question. Today's question comes from Danny in Los Angeles. Danny says, I've been seeing a therapist for a couple of years who has helped me through the beginning of my transition. She has worked with some trans people before, but is not a gender therapist. I trust her completely, and I am comfortable talking about all of my issues with her. What, if anything, am I missing by not seeing a gender therapist? I love this question. Okay, so let me first explain. I have this way of talking to other therapists who are not gender therapists, like when I go and do trainings and workshops. And I explain to them that there's this 3-tiered system that you can think of. There's trans-friendly. If you're a trans-friendly therapist, kind of means you're a beginner. Obviously, it means that you need to be friendly to those who are trans. You're going to be compassionate and understanding, non-judgmental. So after that, I would say you have trans-aware. It's kind of like you're more of a intermediate level. That means not only are you friendly, but you also have awareness of certain aspects of what it means to be trans, transgender, non-binary, the transition process, that sort of thing. And the third level is trans-knowledgeable. And my advice to therapists is that you don't probably consider yourself trans-knowledgeable unless you feel comfortable and confident writing letters of support for hormone replacement therapy and for surgeries, as well as being able to provide quite a bit of resources to your clients when it comes to, let's say, for instance, in your area, how you can go about changing your name legally, changing your gender marker, information about the state in which you live in, whether or not you are protected, let's say, under anti-discrimination acts and things like that. So it shows like this level of knowledge and awareness and commitment to working with trans people that goes like above and beyond average. So I'm not sure where your therapist would lie on this. It sounds like what you're saying is that she's not that your therapist, they are not trans knowledgeable. It sounds like it's possible they could be trans aware since they have worked with other trans clients, but maybe it's like they are trans friendly, but like maybe kind of high up there on the trans friendly and working on being more trans aware. I've had a lot of therapists say that to me, where they feel like they're trans friendly, working on being more trans aware. So I think that's the first thing that your therapist has going for them, is that they are, it sounds like, very interested in helping you as the client with whatever it is you're going through, including transition, including being trans. So the fact that you already feel comfortable with them, I think that's a big plus, and that shows that regardless if they don't have all of the knowledge a gender therapist would have, this is a person that you probably want to stick with. So the only thing to keep in mind, I would say, is, like I said, if you're needing letters for surgery or for hormone replacement therapy, or you need certain resources that your therapist is not sure how to provide or what to do about that, that's actually okay, because you can still seek out a gender therapist to help you with, let's say, the letter writing process, and that would be considered an evaluation. You wouldn't be going to see that therapist for ongoing therapy. You would just be going to see them for what we're calling evaluation. And that's what the most recent WPATH standards of care say, is that you can go to somebody for counseling and for therapy, but you also can go to someone just for an evaluation. So that's something to keep in mind. If it turns out your current therapist doesn't know how to do that or isn't comfortable doing that because they just don't have the awareness of how to do that, you can still go to somebody else to get that. And then if there's resources that you're needing and your therapist is unaware of them, you might nudge them a bit to encourage them to find out a little bit just so they have that information to provide to other clients, or you could do some research on your own as well, such as contacting in your state any LGBT centers, gender identity centers, going online and seeing if you can connect with other people who live in your area who are trans and see what resources they were able to come up with, and then sharing that with your therapist. I think that that's one thing that therapists who are either trans friendly or trans aware are going to probably need some information filled in by you, the client. And if you are comfortable doing this and you're okay doing this, then by all means go ahead and share information with your therapist, because the more they can learn, the better they'll be at the job of being able to help you and other future trans clients. If it starts getting like, it starts to feel like you're maybe doing most of the talking and the helping during session, that could get pretty weird, and that's not going to be very gratifying for you as a client. It doesn't sound to me like your therapist would do that or is doing that currently, but just for others out there who are thinking about this, watch that line. Be careful of the balance between you being able and willing to help your therapist a bit to learn along the way, but also recognize you're still the client and you deserve to have that therapist in the role of still being the counselor, the guide, the one who is helping you through this instead of you being the one to help them through this. So thank you so much for your question, and if you are interested in sharing your thoughts about this topic, then feel free to write about your experience and your perspective in the comments below. That would be awesome for everybody who's watching this video who can connect with it, as well as to Danny. So if you are interested in submitting a question, please go to the Conversations with a Gender Therapist Facebook page. If you haven't liked the page already, be sure to do so, and go ahead and indicate that you want to receive notifications from the page. That way, whenever I ask for questions, you will know that it's time for you to submit a question. I'm going to try to do this on Wednesdays to stay consistent, and maybe your question will be featured at some point in these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.